Hi guys, it's Miss Clark over at Milam. We're going to do a little lesson today on form, and I'm going to show you how to turn shapes into form. And so here I have shapes. Remember when we learned about triangles, shapes, squares, circles, all the flat shapes that are two-dimensional? Well, today we're going to turn them into form, and they're going to be three-dimensional. I'm going to show you how to do that. That's called implied, making the form implied. Now, usually in life, we have sculptures. When we want to learn about form, if we were in class or if we were all together, we would make some kind of actual piece that you could touch and sculpt and make it. But so that's called real three-dimensional form. And so since we are actually actual form, and so since we are not really all together, we are going to, and I don't have all the materials that I can give you, we're going to learn about drawing form, and it's called implied form. If you want to make a sculpture, get after it. I would be most impressed, and you feel free to share with us. But if not, you're going to stick with me, and we're going to make a project using implied form through drawing. Okay, here we go. Okay, I just wanted to show you a few things before we get started. We're talking about shape versus form. So I wanted to show you how a shape can become a form. You remember what shape this is? It's a triangle. I knew you all just said it. So I wanted to show you how we could turn the triangle into a form. The shape is a closed line. It's a flat two-dimensional object. Now we're going to turn the form into a 3D object that has depth. So we're going to give it a little, really skinny oval down here. It's a curve. So the difference between the shape and the form is we now have a curve down here, okay? Now, then the way we're also going, so the only way to get a shape to turn into a form when drawing is to add value. We add value by shading. Remember when we learned about shading? It's the lightness or the darkness of the color. And since we're using pencil, I hope you can see this, our shading is gonna be gray. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend like my light source is over here. I'm gonna draw you a little sun. Okay, so the sun is gonna be, it's gonna be lighter on this side and it's gonna be darker on this side. I'm not necessarily pushing down really, really dark, but I'm just kind of shading in and it's giving it form. I'm also gonna give it a shadow down here. Okay, so that's how I was able to take a shape and turn it into a form by using value to color it. Okay, we could also do a circle. Sorry, I had to draw a few lines to make my circle. And then anyways, we can turn it into a sphere. These are big words that you're gonna probably be learning soon in math. By adding the, oh, I ran out of music. That means I talked too long. I tried to set the music so I would stop talking, but I've got to finish my sphere. Okay, it's gonna be darker on this side because there's our light source and it's shining down on the sphere. And then it has a shadow right here, okay? We can do this to a lot of shapes. We can also do it to a rectangle and turn it into a cylinder. I'm just gonna draw really fast because I know you're probably getting really bored with me. Rectangle into a cylinder by adding that little skinny oval that I showed you and by shading on one side. You can actually shade it all the way over, but you're just gonna, the value is gonna get lighter. See if you can still see it, yep. And by giving it a little bit of curve, okay? And then your shadow. Shadow is very important when you're trying to make form. Now, the square to a cube is a little trickier. Oh, my square's really, let's see if we can see it. Can you see it? A square, yep, you see the square. Okay, and then we're turning it into a sphere, which means we're giving it dimension. So I'm gonna draw my lines back, back, and back. They're all the same. And then I'm gonna close that, and look, boom, it turns into a sphere. But I have to remember my light source. Okay, so my light source is way up here now. So that means the light is getting up here on top of my cube. So I'm gonna make it dark on the front face of this cylinder. Look, I'm using cross hatching. And on the side, maybe I'll make it a little darker. And then my shadow will be right here. So this is a little advanced for you guys right now, but now you've learned some big words, and we're gonna translate that now into our art project. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, for this video, for this project, I mean, you're gonna need paper and a pencil and some crayons. We're gonna go with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and brown. Alrighty, simple enough. We're gonna start, I'm gonna actually even draw with a pencil too, because we're gonna make our form by using the color. So this project, we're doing a pumpkin, since we are now in the fall season. Yay, fall. Okay, so I'm gonna start right up here with the stem of my pumpkin, okay? And I'm gonna make a oval that comes out of my stem. All right, that's a very skinny pumpkin, Miss Clark. Oh, we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna make another, so this is kind of like a tall, skinny letter C, okay? Now we're gonna make a tall, skinny, backwards letter C. Okay. Okay, it's looking better. It's looking like a pumpkin now, but we still need to make it much fatter. So now we're gonna make another letter C. It's a tall, skinny letter C. And another tall, skinny, backwards letter C. Oops, I had a little boo-boo. It's okay. We can use our erasers, no problem. Okay. I like to make mine just a little bit bigger. I like a big pumpkin. So we're just gonna keep doing these letter C's and backwards letter C's till we have the pumpkin of our desires. All right, here comes how we're gonna add our form. We're gonna start with red. Now it may seem silly, but red is what we're gonna use to make our darkest area. So I'm basically going over the line that I drew with my pencil. I'm gonna give it a little bit extra. Okay, so we're just gonna go, oh, my red is crazy. We're gonna go ahead and do that to all of our lines except for our stem. We'll let him be brown since he's normally brown. I just put on some music today. I like to listen to music when I draw, color, or paint. It makes me so happy. Okay. All right, the reason I'm doing this is because this is gonna represent the darkest part of our pumpkin. Okay? You're doing great. You feel free to pause me if I'm going too fast. I probably am going too fast, but it's okay. Because you can pause it anytime you want to. Okay, so now this may seem crazy, but we're gonna do the yellow next. And the yellow is gonna be in the center of each one of our little spaces of the pumpkin. Okay, and I'm gonna do like this. I'm just gonna color it down the middle. And this light, oh, I have a little bit of black in my yellow. Oops. So this yellow part is representing, well, my goodness, I'll use this side, is representing where the sun is hitting the pumpkin, okay? Now, you're gonna color much better than me. I'm trying to do it fast, so you don't have to watch my video all day long. In fact, I'm gonna stop and do this faster. Well, no, wait. I'll do my yellow. I'll fix it in a minute. Okay, yellow, 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 down the middle of each section of the pumpkin, because that's where the sun hits it. Dun, 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 dun. And now we're gonna get the orange. And the orange is gonna go in between the red and yellow. Yay, because we all know pumpkins are orange. Okay, so I'm gonna speed this up now. All right, the last part of our video, I was gonna have you add just a little more, take a black. I don't know if I told you to get a black, but just get a black, and we're just gonna accent that this is where the dark part of the pumpkin goes in. We're just lightly adding a little bit of black to the red. And that's giving it a little more look of dimension here. You see? I hope you can see. I talk to you like you can talk back to me. You don't have to do it on the very edges. Okay, we're gonna color our stem of our pumpkin. And then I'm gonna give it some grass. I'm gonna start right here and I'm gonna use the side of my crayon. If your crayon still has paper on it and you don't want to take it off, that is fine. You just color it, have a good time. But you notice that I'm gonna take my horizon line up to the middle of where the pumpkin is, because we don't want the pumpkin balancing on grass. We want it to show that it's sitting on grass, okay? We're also gonna take that black again and we're gonna make a shadow underneath the pumpkin. So it's gonna be darker green under here. It's kind of mixing with the green. Can you see it? Okay, there, sorry. You see our shadow? That shows that the pumpkin is real and dimensional and it's sitting on the ground. If you want to add a little more grass green, feel free. And then I'm gonna even go ahead and come at the horizon line and add some blue for the sky. You can, if you have a lot of room, you can add a sun, clouds, birds, a tree in the background if you'd like. I drew my pumpkin so big, I just don't even have room back there. There's something else I wanted to tell you and I just can't remember. So I'm gonna, oh, I do remember. If you want to add a leaf or a vine, you can do that too. Just because it's fun and it's October and it makes us happy. And maybe the weather will match up soon. Maybe. We never know. All right. There you go. Now you've got a dimensional, three-dimensional looking implied three-dimensional pumpkin. And I hope that you love it and it gets you in the fall spirit. Bye, guys.